I do feel like that is a bigger issue for our community than we actually think it is, because our attention is so splintered in so many different directions. Like y'all, they over here, like you say, arguing over Lil Nas X, and that's the biggest thing. And then some people over here, and I'm like, yo, we should buy some land. And then, and it's like,
you know, they're gonna be like, don't nobody want to hear that bullshit shit.
Exactly. Yeah, no, factual, factual.
But that's why we missing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me do that Monopoly analogy, right? So on the Monopoly board, right, the first two places is the hood, and people don't even realize that. And then when you go all around the board,
because they're the cheapest places, right?
Yeah. You go all around the board, you got Boardwalk and Park Place, right?
Yeah.
That's Hollywood. Everybody want the lifestyle, but they got booby traps set up on this board, right? So, all right, so nobody wants to be in the hood. Everybody wants to. And have you ever noticed how the value increases the more you move up the board? Right? It's designed like that purposely. Okay, so have you ever paid a phone bill, a light bill, electric, parking today in 2021? Do you pay those utility bills? Yeah. They're all on the Monopoly board. They all are. Right? Taxes, all of it's on the Monopoly. You ever seen a
mortgage tax and all sorts of shit? Like, wait, we don't even get taught that at schools. When Monopoly got us, like, cool.
Right.
You ever seen a police officer before? It's in the corner. Why is the police officer in the corner? What's in the opposite corner of the police officer? The jail. They even got just visiting because that way you can go see your homie. A long time ago, because Monopoly was created a long time ago.
It's been a thing.
Created Monopoly was actually, if I'm not mistaken, he created it to show the issues with capitalism, which is a whole we've been talking about racism, but like racism and classism. I feel like white supremacy is specifically racism mixed with classism.
Yeah,
and that's a whole that's a whole nother episode.
They're all intertwined into each other, and they all play a part into each other. And that's where that, like I said earlier, that vicious paradoxical cycle comes in too, because it's like, all right, well, everything feeds into each other.
Right.
To fix one thing, you have to fix another, but to fix the other, you have to fix another, and it's hard to kind of find that. Where do you start?
I feel like
you just gotta jump in the middle and just fix things.
It's like similar to the issue with private prisons. Like racism has become economically advantageous for some people. So like, even though we could say it's not all white people who are controlling the system, making everything the way it is, there are white people who aren't in control that feel they benefit from the system being the way that it currently is. Right. Same way how with private prisons, there's certain towns that are, their whole economy is based off of people being in prison. And if they got rid of that prison, it's like, I work in the kitchen there. I'm the janitor there. I'm a CEO there. I wash clothes there. Yada yada yada. So it's like we have we have an interest in keeping people imprisoned.
It's a vicious cycle, and it's done purposely.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if I look at it, it's funny if you look at structure, and that's why I talked about the Monopoly board, because you have the four railroads, which were when America first was created. That's how they moved goods from the East Coast, West Coast, North and South, or whatever else. You have you heard of government assistance? Yeah. Well, don't that sound like community chess? Yeah. That's exactly what that is. You ever heard of a person taking a risk, or a gangbanger selling drugs? Doesn't that sound like someone taking a chance? You see what I'm saying? So all these little different intricate things are on this Monopoly board, and I don't think that we really pay attention to what's really in front of us. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because if you ain't the banker, you lose it anyway. So JC, every time you leave your house, guess what? You landed on someone else's property. Yeah. When you want to go buy clothes, when you want to get gas for your car, when you want to go get food. So you're always investing in someone else's stuff because you own nothing. And you can't win a Monopoly if you don't own no land. If you don't own, see, you can have a house, that's cool. But notice this, if you have a home, you cannot build your house any higher because then you have to pay for sky space. Right. But most people don't know that. If you don't own the land, it means nothing. Land is everything, bro. Everything. That's where power is. Because you can't build on my land without my permission. Right. And we see it in movies where people come in to bring the game bangers in. Well, we're going to take over this property. We're going to do this and that. Because that's where the true power is in natural resources and everything else. But we're not taught that. Why would I teach you the truth? If you know the truth, I can't keep you oppressed. It's like being in the military. I tell you that I really want you to know the regulations, but I don't. Because if you don't know the regulations, I could tell you any and everything and going to do whatever I say. But when you educate yourself, the better decisions that you can make because you're more educated about what you're doing. And that's why we won't never really get the truth. That's why the history books are changing. That's why definitions and words are changing. That's why English is one of the hardest languages to learn, because the words have so many different meanings.